Hi, everybody. It's Angelo Caruso. We're on with another Talk to Me podcast episode, this time with Melissa Ward. How are you, Melissa?
Excellent. Thank you so much for inviting me here today.
I've been looking forward to this. You are a social media diva. And before we get started, I want to remind everybody that's watching, if you like these types of videos, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You want to both subscribe and click that silver bell. And of course, if you're using social media for presentations or building your speaker brand, you want to join my free Present Like a Pro group on Facebook. Melissa's going to help us today understand why some people still can't get social media to work for them, and there's a lot of them. Melissa, Facebook seems so damn easy. What's the problem here?
So I think that because mechanically it's very easy, that people don't take the time to think through what it is that they want to share or how they want to share it. I think one good example is, let's say somebody's having an event or a sale, right? And they belong to 10 different business groups and Chamber of Commerce pages, and they literally copy and paste the same message on each platform within Facebook over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Mechanically, it's super easy, but I think that, they're going to realize that the engagement's not there because they didn't really take the time to craft the message or to customize it to a particular audience.
Yeah, I think that's a problem, right? I remember when Facebook first got going, you could actually purchase tutorials because nobody knew how to use it.
Right.
So it was this brand new, fresh thing, and it wasn't nearly as intuitive as it is now. And you may have needed like instruction, either from a bot or a human being. But now it's so intuitive. You make an interesting point. It's so intuitive that we've actually stopped thinking.
Correct.
That because we can get a chunk of content on a clipboard, we're just going to post it across platforms or post it to multiple groups within Facebook. I'll put it on my personal page or put it on my business page. And of course, the result is you're not only less interesting as an influencer or as a poster, but people start quitting your list in droves because it seems like they're getting the same old thing, and they are literally getting the same old thing.
Think about a person who's connected to you, right? So maybe they're connected to you personally, and they are members of the same Chamber of Commerce, and maybe there's a couple of online networking groups that they're the same, that they're also in. You post that message over and over and over and over and over again. Literally, that message just showed up in their feed 5 times, the same exact message.
Yeah.
And you just ignore it. After a while, you become blind to it.
Yeah, and nobody wants to be a one-trick pony. So let's suggest some workarounds, and then we're going to dive into the various platforms, some more than others in this short podcast today. But I want people to have access to you because you're a genius. Your website is NewWard.com.
Correct. NEWWARD.com.
Very good. So check Melissa out if you're looking for social media help with campaigns. She'll just give you, I assume you're like most people, you'll just give them a free consult just to get them pointed in the right direction. Yep. And then if you have something in common, they can hire you to do stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, cool. So the workaround, everybody, for multiple posts, I'll tell you a couple of things I do. Melissa's probably got some tricks too. I call this ping pong, Melissa, because I'll give everybody a quick tip and then I'll hit it over to you and then you give them a tip and you hit it back to me. Okay.
Okay.
I do think that some of my posts are useful to people on different platforms. So what I do is stagger the timing of those posts. So on my computer, I'll open up maybe three platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And I'll post that chunk of text to all three. Sorry, post is probably not the right word. I copy paste it, but I don't post it until later in the day.
Oh, you schedule them out.
Yeah, Facebook gets clicked right now and goes online. But LinkedIn and Twitter wait in the browser for me. So this afternoon I might release the Twitter post, same exact post, but it's 4 hours later. Because when I'm in your feed, everybody, every time you post to the platform I'm following you on, it comes up on my phone. So let's say I'm following myself. the Facebook post would come up, the LinkedIn post would come up, and the Twitter post would come up within 2 seconds of each other if I did all three at the same time.
Right.
But the likelihood of the other person seeing all three of those throughout the day is almost infinitesimal because we get busy with stuff.
So I want to take what you just said and I want to frame it a little differently.
Yeah.
So a useful trick, particularly on Twitter, is you can take the same, we'll say the same objective. So let's say that your post is about an online class that you're giving. If you came up with 10 different ways to be able to talk about that class, 10 different tips, this is why you should be there, this is who the class is geared for, and schedule those out on Twitter to go out once every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get bored of it.
That's
because
right.
it's not the same message,
Yep.
but you're still getting people that are on different times of day. So I use Hootsuite. There are a bunch of other scheduling platforms out there that can actually auto-calculate the ideal time for you to post on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it'll suggest those times and they will be staggered.
I love it. All right. So you just hit the ping pong ball back to me. Pretty cool. I still read, in particular, I see this on YouTube. I don't know if it's true still, because a caveat here, caveat, I guess, is that all of these platforms are changing all the time, everybody. So
Yeah.
If you're watching the video that Melissa and I are recording today, 4 months from now, it's possible everything on the platform has changed, including the interface. So when we tell you where to go find the button might not be there anymore. Having said that, for some time, multi-part videos have been a big draw on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That you're going to post, you put in the title, how to do such and such, part 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next title is how to do such and such, part 2. And now you have 3 videos. You can share the links of each of those videos inside the description of the other videos. And now the algo opens up for you on YouTube in ways that it wouldn't have opened up had you just posted one long video, right? There's something about this serial post that's attractive to people.
So YouTube also has a mechanism when you upload the video, you can add what they call a card or a link at the end of the video.
Yes.
It allows you to upload a logo. It allows you to link to another video, or if you have created a playlist, it allows you to link to a playlist.
And that is a shit ton easier than it used to be.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
YouTube has tricked it all out now. Like if you haven't lifted up the hood on YouTube lately and looked back behind this, I call it behind the curtain. It is so easy to do this stuff compared to the old days when you had to import it, resize it, all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh no, we just did a campaign of 40 videos for a non-for-profit, and the one thing that we included the cards at the end, link back to the website, support us for donations, and then a link back to the entire playlist so that they could see the entire, the whole set of campaign videos.
So what are you hearing about, and we'll bounce around, I'm starting to get a feel for the conversation.
Okay.
It's just not going to work to do Facebook and then do LinkedIn. And then, so what are you hearing about, oh no, I've lost it. We were talking, what was the last thing you just said?
Doing the cards, playlists, YouTube.
Yeah, the links.
Link back.
Now I've lost it.
Okay. So you can do the same thing on Instagram. Do you use InstaTV?
I'm getting into it.
Yeah. So you can use the same concepts, marketing concepts, on Instagram and through the InstaTV. You can do the part 1 and the part 2, because the InstaTV is definitely longer than just a regular Instagram post.
Do you have to earn that ranking like they make you do on LinkedIn?
You do, yeah. I think it's
10,000.
I think it's 10,000.
10,000 followers?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as easy to get followers on Instagram as it used to be.
You got to post every day. If you want followers on Instagram, you have to be interesting. You have to post every day, And every post should include at least 10 hashtags that are relevant.
Wait, you have to be interesting?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's gonna leave a lot of people out. It might leave me out.
But you know what? It depends on what you find in, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Everybody, I have a client, or I used to have a client who was an artist, and I would tell her to paint, post up pictures of her paintbrushes. What paints does she use? Why did she pick that particular color green? And she would say things to me like, nobody wants to hear that. I was like, everybody wants to hear that, because everybody who's not an artist finds that interesting,
Hell yes.
right?
At one point there were like 2 tattoo shows on television, watching people get tattoos.
Mhm.
2. The cooking shows where people that can't even cook are scrambling an egg. People love to watch this crap. I don't know what
They
it
do.
is, but so that's an interesting thing, though. You said earlier, you have to be interesting. Here's a lady who's fascinating, a painter, who doesn't think she's interesting. And then we got a bunch of other people who are not interesting who think they are. This is why social media is not easy, everybody.
There's the dichotomy there. Yes, yes.
So figuring out what it is that people want to see and what they want to hear from you is really important. Let's talk about video in the new era here. We're just cleaning up the pandemic.
Mhm.
Everybody got into the Zoom pool at the same time. I think people are starting to really, really appreciate the value of video marketing in ways that they never did before.
True.
What are you seeing on Facebook, Insta? Of course, we can talk YouTube at the same time. That's working with video. Certain lengths of video, certain types of video. Any patterns that people can pick up on?
So the thing that I find interesting is that when you upload a video to Facebook, it kind of gives you a little scorecard on the side, and it says, hey, is it high definition? Is it over 3 minutes? Have you included tags? Like, it gives you a little checklist there.
Yeah.
For your greatest success. Yet, if you look at the statistics, the highest number of video views is between 10 and 3 seconds. So
3 seconds.
Seconds, yeah. So I have I'm trying to remember the stats.
Is that because of TikTok and formerly Vine and all this kind of stuff?
I think what happens is that videos come through your timeline, and unless something grabs you right away, you don't stop scrolling to watch it.
Are they counting GIFs and all this kind of stuff too?
No.
No.
So literally, same client as I was referring to before, they had something like 76,000 3-second views, and it went down to 6,000 10-second views. And then by the time you got to the full video of 2.5 minutes, it was like 500 people.
I can tell you a lot of my 10-minute videos get 3 seconds of views. What's that mean?
So, but that's the point though, is that when you post a video to Facebook, it shows up in people's feeds, people who are connected to your page, in the same whatever group you're in. Unless you do something right away, immediately, within those first 3 seconds, that gets people's attention, they keep scrolling. Yeah. Unless there's somebody who's truly a follower of you, and you know what I'm saying? So like hardcore follower of yours, right. You have to do something in the beginning of the video that's going to get people's attention.
So here's a tip for everybody. I've had a little bit of success with this. I've just started fooling around with it. So I do a lot of direct-to-camera work, Melissa, as you know, where I'm going to be teaching, say, I teach presentation skills to everybody, and I'm going to show you a presentation trick, but it's just me and my little simple background here, and I'm about to pontificate. So I got these crazy shirts that I have in the closet. But other than that, my hair kind of looks the same. You know, my expression, my face is certainly the same. But I started to do something different when I click record, and that is I'll hold a prop, like I'll be holding a mug, something very simple, or my phone, or I'll hold, it could be anything. I've got a COVID mask hanging here on the wall. Sometimes the crazier the better, a hammer from the toolbox, right? And then I use that, I can either get a screenshot of that, or sometimes YouTube just grabs it, or whoever's, whatever recording platform.
Yeah, right.
So now when you see the YouTube array, the thumbnails, they don't all look exactly the same. There's a prop there that kind of is a leading indicator, or talk about being interesting. It may not even be related to what I'm going to talk about. Like I've done a couple of videos where I'm holding the hammer and I say, I don't need this, and I put it down. But this, like you say, it's our own version of clickbait, just trying to get people. It's a noisy world out there.
Yes.
And you got to do whatever you can to get people's attention. Now,
Right.
I don't recommend being, this is a funny thing, because whenever one of these YouTubers gets in trouble, they're in the news, and I've never heard of them. I always Google them up. I always look for them on YouTube. Why is this guy so damn popular? And they're always kids, and they're always a clown show. There's all kinds of tricky editing and sound effects and stickers and stuff. I don't know that my people would care for that. It's a certain demographic that loves that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I think each of us make decisions about, to what extent we want to have that kind of bling. What do you recommend to your clients?
So again, you have to talk to your audience, right? So if your audience is the 20-somethings that, are interested in a lot of bling activity, crazy stuff, well, then that's what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. If you're an insurance agent and you're selling homeowners insurance, I don't know, maybe you would try something a little crazy, like a picture of a house that a car just drove through or something, not actually doing that. I don't recommend doing that.
Or maybe a gecko.
Well, yeah, see.
That's been a great campaign for them, right?
So I have a client who's an accountant, and he also happens to be very into cars, classic cars. So we started marketing based on his interests. And you want to know something? Most people that own classic cars are an accountant's perfect client.
Yeah, discretionary income.
Absolutely.
That kind of stuff. A book of business,
right.
Yeah.
Right. That's so just you don't necessarily have to use the kvetchy tricks, but you do need to market to people that you can relate to. When I first started in snowmobiling, and I was talking about snowmobiling on Facebook and all that sort of stuff, other businesses that were within the snowmobiling community were contacting me to build websites. Not because I was asking them to, but because they felt a sense of commonality there. And that's really what it is. So you build a connection by, a lot of business owners say, oh, I don't want anybody on my personal page, and I only want to post to my business page, or I only want to be, interacting in groups as my, under my business. Right. But what they fail to realize is that building those connections by talking about, I don't know, maybe where you shop for your kids' clothing, or because you talk about your dogs, or a favorite restaurant, or a favorite type of vacation, or a hobby that you have. You're building connections with other people that that can't be faked.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So speaking of relevancy and that Venn, that Venn diagram of interest that pulls people towards you. Mm-hmm. If you're selling something, everybody, stop just selling exactly what you sell. Sell other things, like Melissa's saying. Sell things about your personality, your own hobbies, your own interests, because kindred spirits like to work together. But if you never let on what you're interested in, you won't be as interesting to other people. Let's go back to hashtags, because I find that a very good way to do this. You mentioned 10 hashtags per Instagram post. What a pain in the ass that is.
No, it's not. You know what you do? This is what I do. I have a big, I use Evernote a lot. So I have a big sheet of hashtags, and I have 4 or 5 different combinations for each client. Cut and paste. Create your post.
But how are you doing that on your phone?
I can do that on my phone. I can cut and paste from Evernote onto my
Evernote, from the Evernote app.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's break this down for people that aren't clear. Evernote is a note-taking app on your phone, or that you can get on your phone. You don't have to use Evernote for this.
No, you can use any note.
You would cluster a bunch of these relevant hashtags so that you don't have to do this every single time. And so what Melissa's saying is, if she's in Instagram, she's getting the post ready to go, but she's thinking ahead. She goes first to Evernote, copy paste the cluster of hashtags,
Yep.
goes back to Instagram, thumbs the actual message, and then pastes in the cluster of hashtags, correct?
Yep. And with the 5 dots, so that if you have a short message on Instagram, you don't want people to, sometimes it looks a little spammy if they see all the hashtags right away. So if you include the 5 little dots, sorry. If you include the 5 little dots and then your hashtags, then it's just there for people who are searching.
How do you get the dots? Is that an automatic thing on Insta?
No, you just period, return, period, return, period. You put that in your note so you don't have to type them. Just copy the whole cluster.
Yeah, that's great. So ping pong, back to me.
Sure.
When I'm doing Instagram in particular, because I find, let's check you on this. I'm interested in what you think. Hashtags are more important on Instagram than they are on Facebook, even though Facebook owns both companies, correct?
Correct. Yes. You wouldn't post on Facebook. So on Instagram, I mean, people, you can use up to 30 hashtags. That's the limit. I try to keep it in the probably 15 to 20 range on most posts, depending upon what I'm trying to accomplish. On Facebook, I wouldn't use more than 2 or 3 in a post. It would just look ridiculous.
Yeah, and plus it just doesn't work. I don't know. Facebook somehow, and a lot of these platforms copy each other, but some of them are just really distinct about not doing something. Like Facebook doesn't seem to be interested in hashtags.
I mean, LinkedIn has been dabbling into hashtags now too. And when you create a business page on LinkedIn, it asks you to pick 3 hashtags that are relevant to your business. And I think it's trying to create a connection so that when you log into LinkedIn, it's going to show you articles that are relevant to those hashtags.
Right.
But I mean, unless you're in Facebook, it's a great, well, actually on all the platforms, it's a great search mechanism. You click on a hashtag. On Instagram, you can follow a hashtag the way you follow a profile.
Yes.
You can follow a hashtag so that you can always see what's happening within that, conversation.
Right.
Facebook I doubt if Facebook's ever going to do that.
Yeah. So here's my Instagram trick using hashtags. Because when I first got started with Instagram, I would be traveling someplace on the speaking circuit, and I'll take an interesting photograph, and then I post like 5 hashtags, and then I ran out of hashtags. I didn't have your clipboard technique. And then it occurred to me, I go to all these cool places, I could be tagging the location that I'm in.
Oh, of course, yeah.
If I'm in Chicago, Illinois, hashtag Chicago, hashtag Illinois, hashtag USA, right? Because they all mean something. If I was a speaker who was trying to develop a base in Michigan, fortunately I already have one, but I would be hashtagging the hell out of Michigan.
Well, right. And I mean, and just like Facebook, Instagram allows you to, do a proverbial check-in so that shows you where you are.
The check-in on Facebook. Let's see. So Instagram does check-ins too?
It's not precisely a check-in, but you can tag a location.
Yeah.
So if you're in a hotel, after you've created the post,
Yeah.
you can tap on the post and you can start typing in the hotel name.
Yeah.
And if they have a presence on Instagram, it'll automatically tag the hotel.
Yeah. Check-ins are not used very strategically by most people. For most people, it's look at me, I'm here now, right?
Well, that's what most people
be.
do posting in social.
Okay.
I think that's really what most people's motivation is when they're posting on social. It's
100%. But I use it differently. Maybe you do too. I check in with purpose, just like I Facebook with purpose. It's mostly marketing for me, and I'm trying to think ahead more than just one move. So if I'm checking in at a hotel, not literally, but I entered a hotel, I check in not to tell you that I'm at a hotel today, but I'm speaking to 300 people at a hotel on such and such a topic. And then all that stuff starts to, come together in the hashtags or in the verbiage itself.
Absolutely.
Because I'm trying to position myself to help other people in the marketplace. And I think, again, this is why so many people fail at social. They don't get the kind of engagement that they want, and then they go, oh, this is a waste of time. Let me ask you about...
So there, just a quick story. There's a gentleman in my area, a competitor, technically a competitor of mine, has a large following on Instagram. And he went into a hotel, or he checked into the hotel and mentioned something on Instagram about being at the hotel. And in his room, he found like a little basket of goodies. And he took a picture of it and he had sent it out, and he's like, why do you think I got these? And I said, well, look how many people you have on Instagram. Of course, that's why you got them.
Wow.
They want you to think well.
Yeah.
Businesses, so, and that's the flip side, right? So not just the posting side, but that's the listening side.
Yeah.
And businesses that are paying attention are going to do well.
Yeah. So, everybody's fond of these influencers, these people that wield terrific power because they have a gajillion followers. Everybody listening to this recording, everybody watching right now has the potential to be an influencer in your area, your niche, whatever.
Correct.
You have to think of yourself that way. And it starts by you doing a favor, doing a solid for somebody, using your smarts. And it doesn't necessarily have to be strictly a favor for somebody else. It can be a favor for you and the other person.
Yep.
Just like it was for your buddy who checked into the hotel. I'm pretty sure he wasn't trying to get a free gift.
No, that wasn't the goal. Here's another great story. I don't know if you've ever, if you follow a gentleman by the name of Peter Shankman. He's an excellent marketer, has one of the best brains in the business. So he travels a ton. He got off a plane, and I think he posted up on Twitter something about, because he'll buy, wireless in the air. He says, oh, I would kill to have a Morton steak when I land at Newark Airport, or something like that. Well, Morton was paying attention. And when he landed and he came out, they handed him a package with, steak, the whole dinner and everything.
At the airport?
Yeah. So Morton's got more advertising out of that good act than they could ever possibly pay for.
Well, because Peter Shank then took a picture of the Morton package. And
of course. And then he's going to tell everybody, oh my God, they actually showed up. I can't believe that this actually happened. And
yeah. I'm going to start doing shout outs to Beamer. I'll tell you that right now. What have I got to lose, man?
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Spell Shank, Schenk.
A-N-K.
Shank.
Shankman. Yeah, Peter Shankman. He's brilliant. He really is. I love reading his stuff.
I'll put him in the show notes, everybody, so you can go find him yourself. Excellent. Okay, we've talked a bit about Facebook, Insta. I wanted to give everybody like $1 million tip for Twitter and LinkedIn before we wrap up.
Sure.
I'll be happy to start. I like Twitter for media. I think the media follows Twitter better than more astutely than all of the other platforms. And part of it's due to the hashtag. What do you think?
Agreed. The thing that I've noticed, particularly during COVID, is people in the medical field who have been using Twitter to share their research, but they also have been translating it. So in other words, like when a medical professional does a research paper, it's very technical. It's lots of big words that, I know that I wouldn't understand, probably the average layperson wouldn't understand. But they've leveraged Twitter in a way that says, well, this is what this means. Here's the plain English version of the information that I'm trying to share. And this is why it's important for the everyday person. So I like Twitter for things like that, where I can get very specific information about specific topics.
Excellent. Let's talk about LinkedIn.
Sure.
I love LinkedIn for its search capability. Unlike all of the other platforms, you can find people on LinkedIn. Try to find Tom Smith on Facebook, because all you can search is Tom Smith. You search the same Tom Smith on LinkedIn, but if you know he works at a certain company, you can type Tom Smith, the name of the company. You can type Tom Smith, the name of the company, the state he works in.
Yep.
It comes up like that. Because you're winnowing down all the Tom Smiths, everybody.
Right.
And of course, you still have to get old Tom Smith to accept your connection request, but at least you can find it. And it's impossible to do that on Facebook. I'm surprised at how many people still don't understand LinkedIn's amazing search capabilities.
So what I like, two things that I like about LinkedIn. So once you find Tom Smith and it's somebody that you want to be connected to, you can see if somebody in your network is connected to that person and ask them for an introduction.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
I think that's stellar. For people who are doing job searches on LinkedIn, again, you can look within, if you find a job that you like, you can look within your network to see if somebody works there and have them make an introduction. My favorite part about LinkedIn, though, is on the business pages side, because when you have a company page, the analytics actually break down to this is how many people who are in a C-suite position have viewed your post. This is how many people who are in a managerial position have viewed your post. So you actually can see where you are reaching people and whether or not you need to move your needle.
But to see those analytics, you have to be a paid LinkedIn
No,
subscriber.
not
Yeah.
at all. It's just a business page.
Okay.
So you and I have personal profiles, right? So NewWard Development, my company, also has a LinkedIn page. So you could have a Michael Caruso business page, like the way you have a business page on Facebook. You can use a company name, you can use your name to create that business page.
You have to post from the business page to get the analytics, or would they
Correct.
automatically attach to me
So
as?
yes, so you end up double posting. So
Yeah.
you post on your personal profile, and then you can also share a message similar to that on the business page. Again, that's where a scheduling tool really comes in handy, because on Hootsuite, so if you were a client of mine on your Hootsuite platform, I have your Facebook business page. I probably have your personal LinkedIn. I have your LinkedIn business page. I have your Instagram account, your Twitter account, and I think that's it. And I can, if you have a YouTube channel, I have that, so that I can take a message and I can craft it 6 different ways or 20 different ways, and I can post it at varying times on varying platforms, inside of 10 minutes.
Fascinating.
It is.
Let's close with some combo platters, some combinations of ideas. We've been talking about video and how powerful it is.
Mm-hmm.
On the YouTube platform, for example, YouTube still being the second largest search engine in the world.
Correct.
But
owned by the largest.
That's right, and owned by Google.
Right.
So if you're going to keep your videos someplace, YouTube is the place to keep them. A lot of people wanting to keep video on Facebook, but there's no indexing. You can't title the videos. It's clearly Facebook has no interest in becoming a video warehouse.
I'm sorry, but Facebook has introduced playlists. So you can you can group them by playlists.
Yeah, but
you can do.
Yeah, I mean, it drives me crazy because I've got a plethora of videos on Facebook. I'll tell you how they got there in a minute. And I can group them by playlist, but I still can't tell what the video is until I play it myself. And I posted it. I have to watch 2 minutes of my own video because there's no description and there's no, there's no title. It makes me crazy. Okay. But I think they probably had to do playlists because over time, they were just amassing so many videos on Facebook. And this is why you want to put at least some videos to Facebook, is that if you post a YouTube link to Facebook, you and I chatted about this the other day, Facebook throttles that post because they don't want people leaving the platform. They do the same thing with CNN.com posts. Facebook has its own news division. They don't want you leaving Facebook to go watch CNN. So they don't show it to as many people, but you'll never know that. You just think that you were, doing a good turn, showing somebody something that was on CNN. But if you've got 4,000 friends, only about 40 are going to see that post.
Yeah, you and I have had that conversation. You can play YouTube videos inside of Facebook now. I mean, just by sharing the link. I could show you a couple of examples later.
Yeah.
But the thing that I do want to get across, though, is that when you're posting videos on YouTube, you should also be making blog posts with those on your website.
Yes.
Remember that your website's home base, ultimately website. Everything else is an outpost.
That's right.
And you want to drive traffic back to the place where you have the most control over the conversation.
And I'm guessing when you post that video to the blog and you have a choice of embedding it on your site or leaving it on YouTube, you want them to leave it on YouTube to get the view.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. And then you can create a little more text and title And that is great SEO juice. So if you are talking about a niche topic, you can figure out what are some of the things that people would be searching on if they wanted to learn more about this topic.
Right.
And you can incorporate that text into the blog post.
Right. Yeah. So back to this idea of posting videos to Facebook. How do you do it if you can't use the Facebook, the YouTube URL? By the way, there's a caveat to that. I have had success posting the YouTube URL in private groups.
Yeah. Okay.
The viewing rate, it doesn't seem to be throttled, but on my personal page, Facebook sees it. And again, they don't show it to as many people. So the workaround for that, everybody, is that you would natively upload that video to Facebook. It's a pain in the ass, I know, because you've already uploaded it to YouTube. Now you have to take the time to natively upload it to Facebook. And then Facebook will not assign a title to it. They won't allow a description to it, but it shows up in your photo albums as a video album.
I have to go look because I have to go look at something on Facebook now because I could have sworn that, I mean, I have videos that have titles and descriptions and.
That's okay. I like the conversation. Let's jump to my page.
Oh yeah, there. Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So check it out. I shared my screen.
Okay,
This
let me
is
see.
my photo album. Or photos. And if you click on albums, everybody, you'll see the videos are all here.
Yeah.
They'll come up in an array, just like the photos do. But you'll see there are no titles.
Not when you view them like that, correct. But if you view them on your timeline, there should be.
Yes. What you'll get then, I think, is the video title and the initial description, along with the comments that came the first time.
Yes, for live videos, yes.
Live or uploaded, actually, I think.
Well, correct, right. But on live videos, you get the timestamp with the comment.
My problem is, this is going to take a while. My problem is that if I wanted to share a video that I know I've already uploaded to Facebook, I have trouble finding it because I don't remember what the messages were. Like I know this one was done on a trip to Lebanon when we visited a school, but I can't remember what some of these are, so it's maddening. But like I say, Facebook doesn't index, so that's never been their strength. They never wanted to be they know they can't out YouTube.
No, they can't. It'll be a sore point for them for quite some time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Let's close with a bit of advice for people doing social. What do you find yourself telling new clients over and over again that you wished everybody knew? It would save them a lot of heartache. And we've covered a lot of stuff so far. Does anything pop to mind that?
So two of the best tips that I can come up with is, one, when you're posting on Facebook, speak to people in a one-to-one voice. So don't talk to me like you're talking to a crowd of 1,000 people. Have a conversation with one person and type your message that way. Then the person who is reading it, right, because it's an individual who is reading the message, is going to be able to relate to it better than if you address it in a way where you're speaking to, 1,000 different people.
And did you say this was Facebook Live?
No, just Facebook in general. No matter what you're posting, if you're writing something, if you're doing a video with something, just always have the conversation as if you're having a one-to-one conversation.
Yeah, every once in a while, I'll get up and I'm still sluggish from the sleeping or whatever, and I'm gonna go, hey everyone. And I'm like, I know I'm talking to everyone, but the other person thinks I'm talking to him personally.
Correct. Yeah. And then the other thing I think is that people get overly concerned about the quality of video. I would love to see more people take out their phones while they're in the middle of a project, or if the cat is walking across their desk and they're trying to do their bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Just like stuff like that is actually interesting or amusing to the people who are not there experiencing it.
Yeah, and I think that's so true. And it came that came to be more evident during COVID because everybody was broadcasting from home.
Yeah, this is my house.
Because offices tend to be more clinical, less interesting. And I think the second reason is a lot of our presentations and some of our videos could use a little bit of spice. And so when the cat walks across the, the screen, it's just what the doctor ordered.
I think that we tend to take ourselves too seriously. I think we need a little levity.
100%.
And we're so worried about showing up as human that we forget to be human.
Exactly right.
And yes, I have a business logo and all that sort of stuff, but when people do business with me, they do business with me. They're not doing business with NewWard. They're doing business with Melissa Ward or with my business partner, because that's the connection.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be perfect. The video doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it and let people find out who you are.
Fabulous. This is Melissa Ward, everybody. I told you she was amazing. Her website is newward.com. That's NEWWARD. And you are a gift. I'm so glad we're pals, and I hope we get to do more things together.
Thanks, Michael. It's been an absolute joy. I really, really appreciate the invitation.
My pleasure. See you soon.
You got it.